Howdy, this is 5 Bite Granny, and I'm here with a different kind of video for you today. On this video, we're going to contemplate what you can do and what you can eat when invited out to dinner with folks who either don't know you're dieting, or you don't want them to know you're dieting, or they've already heard that you're dieting, but you don't want to feel left out of the party, and you do want to eat, and so you're going to need to order something. So what do you order, and what do you talk about, and when do you take your bites? This might help you ease those awkward times with just 5 little steps. Now, the first thing is you're going to know what to order. So I've got a list of 10 things that you can order that can be ordered at just about any restaurant. You're going to find at least one of these things at least every restaurant. So let's go through the list first to see what you can eat, because remember, you only want 5 bites. You don't want to eat the entire turkey dinner. So if you're invited out to a restaurant or cafe or coffee shop, this situation will help you a lot. So the first item that we're going to talk about that you're going to order could be a half a sandwich and a salad. So you either eat 5 bites of your salad, or you leave the salad till last and you eat the 5 bites of sandwich. But you're going to tell these folks when they first give you when you first sit down, that, oh my goodness, you have either just recently eaten all you possibly can and you just want a tiny bit, or you're going to tell them that you're getting ready to have a big meal, or that you're going to have dinner with your family at home soon, so you're not going to order much. Now, that'll get them off your back. And so with eating just a half of the sandwich, you can bag up the salad and say you're going to take it home and eat it for later. And nobody's going to question that, especially when you get busy talking during your lunch or whatever, and they're not even going to be paying attention anymore because of the topics that you're going to bring up. So the second thing you could order is just a cup of soup. Not a bowl of soup, a cup of soup. It's usually just a coffee cup or a ramekin-sized bowl of soup. So there's your 5 bites. Easy enough. Now, another thing you could order would be a muffin. Not one of those great big giant ones. Ask for a small muffin. And it can be any flavor, any type, it doesn't matter. Just a small muffin. Don't add butter, don't add jam. You could, but try to stay away from the extra calories if possible, because muffins are just filled with carbs, and you don't want to go too crazy, even though that Snickers bar that the doctor recommends is loaded with calories. Okay, the next thing you could order, talking about calories, would be 1 slice of pie. Any kind of pie. Fruit or cream, doesn't matter. Cheesecake is not pie, but you could do that, depending on how big or small the slice of cheesecake is. Usually, pie is fairly decent, but don't add for the a la mode, because that's going to make it more than 5 bites. Got that? Okay, the next thing would be 1 taco. It could be chicken, it can be beef, it could be pork, it could be veggie, it could be fish, but only 1 taco. No beans, no rice. Just 1 taco. Usually a lot of restaurants that are Mexican or Hispanic will have 1 taco as a side. And nobody at the table is going to question you. Remember, you've already given them an excuse why you can't eat a lot. Now, the second thing, another thing that you could eat could be a small order of chicken nuggets. Because most of the time, you'll get 3 or 4 pieces of chicken nuggets. They're 3 or 4 inches long. And you could shove half of those on a side. And remember, don't accept the French fries. Just the nuggets. You don't want all that extra food that you could get accidentally carried away eating. Okay, the next thing would be a corn dog. forget the fries or the chips. Same thing with a hot dog or a chili dog. You could order them without the bun. No hamburgers, that's more than 5 bites and you know it. Always pass on the French fries because you know that is one French fry is 1 bite. And so if you're going to have French fries and whatever else, corn dog, hot dog, whatever, it's going to be more than 5 bites. Tried to help you here. Another thing that you could order would be a cinnamon roll. A cinnamon roll. Cinnamon helps cut your appetite. So when you're done eating that cinnamon roll, you're going to feel so full, you're not going to want anything else anyway. So indulge yourself. Have something nice and sweet like that. Or the last thing would be a scoop of ice cream. And depending on how big a scoop it is, you could get away with some chocolate syrup or caramel or sprinkles. But a simple scoop, 1 scoop of ice cream would be about 5 bites. And that's all you really need. Those are my 10 items to order. So, what do you say while you're eating? Well, now that gets to be a little tricky. You're going to sit at the table and you're going to watch everyone around you. Let's say that there's 4 people, 3 maybe, and they're all sitting there at the table with you, and you're just having a sip of your ice water with lemon, and you're pushing your plate around, looking at it and go, this looks good. And you're waiting and everybody else is getting served. Now, I want you to pay attention to who eats first and last. It's very important. Keep your eye on these 2 people. Who's the first person to dig in? Don't say a word. Just watch and see who's that first person and see who the last person is. When the last person has taken their first bite, that's when you take yours. And when you take your first bite, right after you've taken it, while everybody else is chewing, you can bring up the fact, if they haven't heard it before, about the fact that you're on the 5-bite diet. But only if you feel comfortable and only if you want to. And if you don't feel comfortable and don't want to, then you can ask everybody, well, since everybody's ordered something they definitely like, ask everybody what their worst favorite food is. The one they hate the most, the one they like the least. And everybody's got something they hate. And that's going to make you feel better. And that'll go around the table for a little bit of talk. And you'll sit there and laugh and talk and add your little kibitz and tell them what you hate. And that's a good intro into conversations at the dinner table. And so then you're ready for your second bite. And you take your second bite, and second stands for S. Second, like, let's say second hand, like shopping. So ask them, do they go to rummage sales? Do they go secondhand shopping? Are they into saving money like that? Or do they know a good shop to go to where it can save them some money? And where do they go besides Ross and Marshall's and those kind of stores? That's a good topic. All girls love shopping, and all of them can come up with some good answers for you. And you might even find a new partner to go shopping with. You never know. So then your third bite. Now this is what gets tricky. Remember that first person, the first person to eat? When they get halfway through their meal, because the third bite is halfway through yours. So when they get halfway through their meal, that's when you take your third bite. Then that way, you're always taking a sip of your water or your iced tea or lemon water or hot pot of tea without any real sugars in it, and kind of taking your time at eating, and nobody's really going to pay attention. But when that third bite is when they're halfway done with theirs and you're ready for your third bite, Then you're thinking about third wheel, and third wheels have to do with relationships. So then you can talk about what's happening at home with one of your family members, a kid, or your mother-in-law, or something that happened in school, anything about relationships. It doesn't have to be family, it can be friends, it can be what you heard on TV about the royalty families. But, talk about relationships. Everybody likes to talk about relationships. It's really hard not to gossip. But if you're talking positive about a friend or a relative or something that the royal family's been doing that you want to get in on, or thought it would be great to go to like their rose garden or something and stroll through there with them, those are relationships. Everybody's got family they want to talk about. Somebody's got a new grandkid, somebody's having a baby, somebody's going to school. There's all kinds of things people want to talk about their relatives, family. Okay, now we've talked a little bit about that. Let's go to the fourth bite. Your fourth bite. So what does four? Four on the golf course. Four on playing cards. We're talking about sports and games. So you can say, what does anybody here do for recreation? Or does anybody do yoga? Or does anybody like to play canasta or chess or maybe a certain Nintendo game or whatever is popular, Game of Thrones, whatever it is? Or does somebody have tickets to the latest football or basketball game? What's the college or high school team doing this week? There's all kinds of things you can talk about sports. So that was number 4. Now for your last bite, as you see everybody cleaning up their plates, don't be the first one done. Wait until 1 or 2 others take their last bite before you do. You will not have to pay attention to the fact that you're the only one at the table eating 5 bites. They're going to wolf their food down fast enough. They're going to be talking about stuff long enough. They're not even going to be paying attention to your 5 silly little bites. And if they do, just remind them what you said in the beginning. You ate earlier, or you're going to be eating again later. They don't know it's only going to be another 5 bites unless you tell them. So on your last bite, when the next to last person or the last person takes theirs, you can put yours in your mouth too. Then you have paced your 5 bites. Otherwise, you're going to take 5 bites in the first 30 seconds of your meal. And you're going to be sitting there twiddling your thumbs, wondering what in the dick is you're doing sitting here while all these people are scarfing down their food and nobody wants to talk. That won't happen anymore. Now you will be able to get through this social time without any embarrassment, thinking, first bite, foods. The food you hate to hate or love to hate. Second bite is secondhand stores or regular stores. Third bite is third wheel, which is relationships. Fourth bite is 4 on the golf course, or 4 playing canasta or whisk or Uno flip. We love Uno flip. We even made up our own rules for just 2 people, and that's an awful lot of fun. And the 5th bite, oh, I didn't tell you about your 5th bite. After you finished your 5th bite, you think about the 5th, the 5, Jackson 5, music. So you can talk about your favorite genres of music or your favorite music artists or the latest song you heard by whoever, or ask them, has anybody heard about so-and-so who just won some Greatest American Talent or something? Talk about music. Everybody loves music to one extent or another. Mine is the blues, reggae, jazz, instrumental classic, or definitely gospel Christian. So I've got several genres that I like to listen to. Somebody might come up with something new that I haven't heard lately or ever, and I'll want to look it up and possibly buy a copy or download it or whatever. This is a whole wonderful world out there with lots of things to talk about and lots of topics. And if one of those people at the table don't have a topic or enter into conversation on one of those topics, they will on one of the others. Because this is a list that can be covered by men, women, teenagers, and children. Everybody can talk about all these topics. We didn't include weather, politics, or religion for good reason. So, considering this, what do you think you're going to order the next time you go out to eat? And you can pick so many of these different things to be able to have and not feel guilty and not feel embarrassed. People are going to accept whatever you say, and they're going to believe you. I mean, why wouldn't they? You're going to eat later and you already ate before you got here. You're just a little hungry. You're not really hungry. Although your stomach might say you are, and although they might think you are. But if you're sticking to your diet, stick to your guns. You're going to be glad you did when you lose all the weight and you can finally come clean with all these people and say, here I am, look at me, I've lost my weight. And then they'll come to you and say, how'd you do it? Tell me. And you'll be able to point right here, 5-Bite Granny, 5-Bite Diet. You'll have your own tricks of the trade by that time, and you'll be able to stand in front of them and be glad that you've made this journey. Anyway, if you like what I had to say, give me a thumbs up. If you're interested in our videos and want to learn more, subscribe if you haven't already. A shout out to Maddie, Yolanda, Ivory, and Grandpa is still getting a little slow on this, but he's trying to stick to it as best he can. But he's still hanging in there and hasn't lost a single pound. But he hasn't gained one either. So you all leave your comments. Be glad to hear about it. And I'll shout out to someone new next time maybe. You all have a blessed day. Bye. Enjoy your time out.